Before we hop into lab 2, we should talk about some cartography, just some basics of cartography before we get too far into our map making journey without thinking about them directly. Talked about a little bit at the end of lab 1. Let's talk about a little bit about it now. 2 maps on the screen. We're going to play a game, good map or bad map. Start with the one on the left. Good map, bad map. Think to yourself. Say it out loud. Bad map, that's right. I have no idea what this map is showing. I'm guessing it is points, oil infrastructure maybe in the Gulf, oil spills, oil. I have no idea what that map is. It's terrible. We can't tell what's going on. All of our points are overlapping. There is no key, no legend, no logic. There's too much data. The data is overwhelming. The data isn't clear. The data has no organization. We can even barely tell it's in the Gulf Coast, Gulf of Mexico. You can kind of make the outline of Texas, Louisiana, New Orleans. Kind of. I mean, you can like squint and see it. Bad map. It is not clear. It is not readable. It is not understandable. It has too much data and it has no clarity of what it's trying to show. It basically hits every bad map rule we have. Map on the right now. Good map or bad map? Think to yourself. Good map or bad map? Think to yourself. Every nap's a good nap. Say it out loud. That's right, bad map. Better than the other one, but still bad, especially now. Here's some good things. It has a title, it has labels, it has some data, it tells us what we're looking at. Tornado watches per year, 1999 to 2008 average. But can we talk about how unintuitive this color ramp is? 1 is yellow, mustard yellow, 2 is brown, 3 is a brighter level or a brighter level of yellow. 4 is bright orange, 5 is red, 6 is dark brown again. 8 and 5 are functionally the same, depending on how well you tell the difference between colors. 5 and 14. 15 and 4. 16 and less than 1 are the same colors. So what's like, your lower 48 geography here. What are those values in like Appalachian, North Carolina? What do those values mean? Is that 1 or is it 16? I'd like to know how I'm going to do with tornadoes. Bad map. Bad map. So 2 bad maps. Maybe the one on the left is too far gone. One on the right, a better color ramp, would solve pretty much all of its problems. And that's because, and so we bring up these 2 examples because cartography is all about communicating geographical information graphically in order to maximize both the information that's being presented and our ease of understanding that information. It's not easy. It is, in fact, its own class and its own area of skills. But when you're in GIS, when you're doing an introduction to GIS course, you have to deal with it. It is part of what we do. When we think about our map design, we want to think about a couple of key components. And this is the crashest course in cartography you'll get, but it's important to deal with. And one of the things we want to look for is harmony. Harmony in color and texture so that everything gets along nicely. Bad harmony. First of all, if you kind of stare at it right, it looks kind of 3D. Anyway, we're looking at population map. Now, we really shouldn't be mapping population as raw numbers anyway, but we'll forget that map sin for a second. Nothing is aligned in here. We have 3 different font colors, 4 if you include the north arrow, 5 if you include the scale. We have a color scheme that makes no sense for the map that we're showing. This is sequential data, low population to high population, yet the colors are randomly assorted. The way we display data should match how that data functions. We've got one of those fake cursive fonts. The pink north arrow or the pink compass rose, because it has all the directions, so it's not just a north arrow. The pink compass rose is the best part of this map, I think. Bad harmony. You have every color choice you could think of inside of GIS. You can vary it based on RGB values or CMYK values, or you can use Pantone. You can determine which hue you like, the saturation or the vividness, the value light and dark of the color. You can choose any color you want, so choose well-designed ones, choose good ones. When we're working inside of ARC, the color ramps or even there's a bunch of pre-made ones we can use. It's really nice. Emphasis, lightness, saturation, or I should say you can emphasize different components, different ideas, different ways of working with your map data through things like lightness and saturation and contrast and making colors pop or blend. See, these are the same color ramps, but with slight differences in saturation and lightness, which give us more kind of pop. The blues especially pop on that map on the right. So we can do more work to make our data clearer. So harmony is one thing we want to think about. Composition's another. Where are the things on your map? What have you put there? What is going on? Hey, look, that map looks a lot better. We've got a color ramp showing our population data low to high. All of our fonts are aligned. But now it's composed weird. Notice how we're on a portrait page, like a normal sheet of paper. But the lower 48 of the United States is definitely a landscape type country, or a landscape part of a country. So we've got all this extra white space. Design includes the elements, the scale bar, the north arrow, or the compass rose, the legend. All of these are important pieces. We cannot overload our maps and overload our displays and expect it all to work. This has the same problem as that first map on the first slide. Too much stuff. What are these dots? What is happening? I don't even know. We don't want our data to get distracted. Or, I mean, well, we don't want the data to be distracted. We don't want to distract our viewers from the data. We don't want to get distracted by the turkey, the vulture. I don't know. Whatever it is on the top of this probably doesn't belong on a required fuel economy standards new cars built from 1978 to 1985 graph. Simplicity. Having something elegant is fine. It has to track with the data that we're looking at. So harmony, composition, clarity. Our map should be intuitive and easy to read. Quick, what's this a map of? Think to yourself. Keep thinking. If you said that that was a bathymetry map off the coast of Japan, how? When it's displayed in colors that are not intuitive or they don't have a logical structure, it is impossible to understand. We have all these patterns. We have all of these built-in presets that we can use. Use them. You have a swamp, show it with a swamp tile. You have a glacier, show it with the glacier tile before it melts. In this case, the big red orbs are invading Durham, North Carolina. What does this mean? Are we highlighting Durham? Is there a sale on big balloons? If something's important, it should be obvious and intuitive for it to be important. If it's obvious and important. It should be intuitive. It should be clear. Say it one more time. If it's of high importance, if it's being highlighted, it should be intuitive and clear. Right. Let's talk about font. Some clever editing. Font actually matters a lot in cartography because the type of font that we use sometimes has underlying definitions. National Geographic is very good about certain fonts meaning certain things, and they have a whole style guide about it. But different fonts serve you differently as well. You have the serif versus the sans serif. Questions on clarity or utility. You have the display fonts that give a big impact. Comic Sans is one of those that's on a lot of never use this font lists, but Comic Sans is actually really useful for people who are dyslexic. It's one of the most readable fonts. Some things you just never use, like Old English, never use that, especially in art. My favorite font is Silphane. So font matters too. Now, a couple of things to help you your cartographic futures. And we'll finish up. First, Color Brewer is pretty much the best website out there. You can just go to colorbrewer2.org. The rest of that is an example of a color scheme, colorbrewer2.org. Fantastic website for learning about color choices in cartography, created by Dr. Cynthia Brewer, who's at Penn State in geography there. There's also this wonderful ArcGIS book, which is kind of an overview of fancy things you can do in cartography with ArcGIS. Some inspirational things in there. So, cartography, there's a crash course. It's important, it's vital. Practice good cartography. Practice good editing. You'll be set.